Hello and welcome to the 14th video in this series, programming simple floppy robin for Android using Cocos2dx. So this video then we're going to implement our splash screen. I said in the last video we were going to do sounds, but that's going to come a bit later because we're going to need a game manager singleton class to run our different screens and also our sounds for us and other things. And it's easiest to start with the splash scene. So class is right click and new file, C++ class, and I'm just going to call this C splash scene, like so. And we're going to whiz through this fairly quickly because it's all code that you've seen before and it's identical to how the Hello World scene was set up. So some good copy and paste stuff is about to go on here. Splash screen, then I've taken all of the code from the Hello World scene.h. I'm going to take these class definitions obviously away because we don't need them. I'm going to call it C splash layer, the class that's subclass is CC layer. Inside the private section remove everything, and inside the public section remove the touch overrides there because we don't need them because we won't be having anything to do with that, and drop our splash layer in there. Now splash layer is, the intention is it starts up, it'll sit there for 4 seconds, and when it's sat there for 4 seconds we'll schedule that after 4 seconds a function is called which then tells our game manager to run the game screen. So we'll have a function here called run game screen which is scheduled to be called after 4 seconds. So back to hello world scene.cpp, we'll copy the scene code here because it's almost identical, and what we'll also do is we'll go and grab the initialization from hello world scene.cpp as well at the top because this is almost identical along with that line there. Just close the bracket off, and at the bottom of this we need to return true, and I'll remove all this stuff here. Okay, so here we need then C splash layer, like so, and I need to drop that here where we create our layer. It's then added to our scene, and we return the scene. And what in the world is wrong with this here already? No matching member function call to add child. I've included Cocos2d. Okay. This should now be okay. Yes, it is. Good. And then here we need, and something is badly wrong with Xcode. Today it's crashed again. I can't believe it. Believe it or not, I've spent about 2 hours again doing this very simple video because Xcode just refuses to run properly. So if it restarts somewhere similar to where we just left off. Where are we? Run game screen, we have splash layer, we have inside here. Add layer, okay, good, I was here. Can I still paste? No, of course I can't. Splash layer inside here, and then visible size, CC director, shared director, get visible size. Okay, good. So that's all created. The one more thing I want to do here is just create the run game screen function here, or at least define it so that we're ready to use it later on. And the last thing we can do, so I don't forget, at the end of the initialization is this, and ScheduleOnce, and then we want to schedule selector, and we want to select our C splash layer and the run game screen, and we'll run the game screen then after 4 seconds. Okay, so that's all in, and this now runs, and the only thing to do is later on when we've got our game manager to tell the game manager to run the game screen, which you'll see in the next video. So for this video then we've just got some simple stuff to do, and that is simply to build up our splash screen, and I'm going to do this as fast as possible with some copy and paste from our hello world scene.cpp, which you can already see from a previous video. I had everything selected and copied to drop in for the stuff that we actually need, and we'll blast through it quickly because you've seen all this code before. So the first thing we do is create our background sprite, which we're familiar with by now, and I've just seen that we need to add in our constants include there. So the background sprite is now created, the floor sprite is created, we don't need floor Y, and now here the Robin now that we're going to add to the screen doesn't need to be a Robin class because it's just a sprite, it's not going to do anything on here. So we can do CC sprite and create in this way. And now we can then set the position of our Robin, and now I want to set the position of our Robin slightly differently to this. Obviously I want it to be 150 by 350 just because, and we add it at the correct Z index. Next thing I want to do is add a couple of clouds in, so I'm just going to take this code and copy it here, and I'll call this cloud 1, and that's going to be added at cloud-hd. I want to set the cloud 1 scale, before I forget, to k cloud scale fast, because the fast clouds are the bigger clouds, and we want to set the position of the first cloud at 400 by 550, and add it. And then I want to set the second cloud, because there's another one, like so, and we'll set the second cloud at 700 by 500, so they're sort of in the sky somewhere above the text that's coming. So onto the text then, what we need is a CC label TTF, and I'll call this title text, and this can be simple floppy Robin with our standard font, and we'll use a font size of 48. That'll go then right in the middle of the screen, just as our background did, so I can say set position right in the middle of the screen. We don't need an anchor point for our title at all. Set the colour to red and add as a child, and now we'll have a subtitle just to explain why the app doesn't look entirely complete when somebody starts it up, and just say a tutorial app by Blue Fever Soft, like so. Let's make that a little bit smaller, font size of, let's say, 24, and we'll call this detail. I mean, we really don't do anything with the splash screen apart from just show some labels and images and nothing else. Add the detail in. The only thing is the position here. I want to position this below with a little bit of a gap, the title. So let's make it actually proportional, so when we do some scaling it's maybe a little bit easier. But let's actually say that we're in the middle of the screen. We'll then go at the title boundingbox.origin.y, so the bottom of the label, minus, and let's just go 1.5 times the size of that. So we can say minus title boundingbox.size.height multiplied by 3 and divided by 2. And let's just put those for my own brain inside brackets as well, so I can keep track of what's going on, and then that should all be added in. Okay, so that's our splash scene hopefully done. It seems to have built okay as well. I'll just hit build again, see if there are any silly errors inside there, and there don't seem to be. So now that we've done that, we just need to run this instead of running the main game. So in app delegate, where we've got including our hello world scene, we'll change that now to C and splash scene.h, which means here we want our C splash layer instead of the hello world and scene. And now if I run the application, you'll see now that our splash screen has run instead. We've got the Robin, couple of clouds, simple floppy Robin, and a tutorial app by Blue Fever Soft. And that's all there is to it. The app doesn't actually do anything apart from that. It calls it scheduled function, which does nothing. But in the next video, we'll set up our game manager, which will handle then the running of the main game scene. So simple video, stuff we've all seen before. Hope it was okay though, and see you in the next one. Thanks very much.